What is good, guys? Welcome back to the Your Place Next Door podcast, the number one mental health podcast in the world. What you saying, Jeff? You good?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How you been?
Busy week, man. Busy week.
That's just pretty much how it goes nowadays, especially given how like everything's so fast paced nowadays, everyone's just constantly busy trying to keep up with time.
Yeah, it's 11 a.m. and I think, what time is it? It's like 11:30, and I think today so
Yeah.
far I've had probably like around 35 calls this morning so far.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's been nuts. But yeah, so today, well, before we get into this podcast today, make sure to hit the subscribe, follow us on Instagram, all of that good stuff helps out a lot. Comment. We will start reading out some comments.
Yeah.
We will address them as they come in. But no, you see the new set. We're upgrading a few things, so we're trying to push forward with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Today, what we want to talk about is self-care. So, yeah, just off the bat, what's your thoughts on self-care?
Well, from personal experiences, I feel like a lot of times, a lot of people take their own, I guess, health as well as their own lifestyle for granted.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't take the time in the day to reflect on their own like personal feelings or reflect on their own like things, whether it's a parent or a student or a friend. A lot of people tend to go out of their way. Like I myself see myself doing this too. Sometimes I go out of my way too much to worry about other people's issues and needs to where it mentally and physically affects me.
Yeah, I'll go you.
Yeah. And I feel like there should be a point in time where you should like say, "Hey, stop." Yeah, they're going through their own stuff, but I have my own stuff that I gotta fulfill first before I can help anyone else. If that makes sense, you know?
Yeah. I don't think people really know what self-care is because,
Mhm.
we spoke about this before about the schools, they teach you one thing and
Mhm.
it just depends on the life that you're brought into, like the life I lived was the cards I was dealt. It's not by choice, what I mean? So, but it's like, what you're saying about reflecting, like I really like that, I do that a lot for myself is reflect a lot and understand, when I feel a certain way, I really think about it like, well, why? What have I done that has led me to feel this way? Like, I was on the phone about 30 minutes ago talking to somebody and I was telling them, that when I'm cooped up at home all day and I'm ordering like Uber Eats or DoorDash or something, and it's like junk food like fried chicken or whatever, and drinking Pepsi and eating chips and chocolate at home all day, like throughout the day I will notice that my anxiety is spiked. And then towards the evening or something, I'm very reluctant to go outside.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Whereas if I, take a better approach to the day, go out, get active, feel the sun,
Mhm.
that kind of stuff, don't be glued to a screen. It flows fine.
Yeah.
You feel better. Like, not better, but you feel good.
Mhm.
Like, you don't feel bad. So, yeah, but there's a lot of things that equate to, one feeling not so good. And that was what I was just saying, like, about the food.
Mhm.
What you ingest, if you start your morning with a very sweet tea or a sweet coffee or something, you're spiking your sugar levels, which is in turn making you feel good. And then when it starts to wear off, you come crashing and it's like going down. What are we going to do? Just top it back up with more caffeine and sugar? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like your emotions are up and down
Yeah,
all
and
day.
you're just essentially just covering up something that
Just
could have
keep
been
giving yourself
resolved.
it's like you're giving yourself I would say like
A temporarily fix.
exactly. It's like an artificial push.
Yeah. Mhm.
You know what I mean? And that does, affect your emotions, which in turn affects your mental health. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And another thing is gut health.
Mhm.
I think that's plays a major role because
It ties hand in hand because
yeah,
like coming from, well, I'm not like certified to like like back this up or anything, but
Yeah.
coming from like a biological standpoint, like Doctor, I believe it was Shamika Carmack when we had the previous pod with her, she mentioned about chemical imbalances,
Yeah.
and coming from a student who's studying medicine and whatnot right now, a lot of our hormonal systems is controlled by like our glands and whatnot, and these glands tie back into our gut as well. And if our gut is not healthy, then that's gonna cause a lot of like chemical imbalances in our body as well.
The gut is the biggest organ, right? So it's like
One of, yeah.
yeah. So it's like I can't remember who said it. I don't know if it was Dr. Huberman or I'm pretty sure it was him. Don't quote me on that. But they were saying that because the gut is so big and the amount of your body's energy is focused around that. Like if you are putting junk in it, it's like if you don't feel like when I eat, your stomach is like here. You don't feel good down here. That's your gut. Do you know what I mean? And when you don't feel good here, it's just like you know what I mean. It's just it's a whole thing itself. And obviously because of all the size of it and the nerves and everything, like we're not doctors, but in layman's terms, like everything. My light went off.
Cut.
No, keep it running.
Oh, okay.
We're keeping it. Nah, no more cuts, bro.
All right.
Just keep it smooth. Like it's all good. This is real life. Lights go off.
Yeah.
I mean, but we'll keep it running.
If you can switch the settings over to the other side if you want.
Yeah.
There's a switch, like an on-off switch, and switch to the other side. There we go.
Hopefully that lasts.
Lower the brightness down a tad bit. No, that's the color. So switch it to where you had it before, and then the other knob is the brightness. Go the opposite direction. A little bit more. There we go. That should be good.
It's fine.
But yeah.
No more cuts. Yeah, no more cuts. And if something goes wrong, we'll just address it there and then.
Yeah, true.
That's what happened with the doctor.
The other podcast we did.
Light went on, light went off.
But hey, that's just part of the process. The part of the
Yeah,
process.
that's all right. But anyway, so yeah, we're talking about gut health, and it's a huge part of the body. So for sure, it has effects.
Yeah.
I mean,
another like thing that could affect like your own reflection on self-help is the people you surround yourself with. 100%. So I remember reading an article a couple years back where it was mentioned that if you surround yourself with people who are constantly stressed all the time, you yourself eventually will become stressed.
Yeah.
And it took a bunch of like unfortunate circumstances. The reason why I even stumbled across that article was through a class, and on top of that, like during that time, I was going through situations and surround myself with people who felt like I was being the one who caused them to become stressed.
Okay.
So I did a little bit self-reflection, and I'm like, yeah, maybe sometimes I am overreacting a little bit, and it's a mindset that you have to change. Even nowadays, I still do the same thing. I'm really pessimistic about a lot of things I do. Like when I'm stressed, I show that I'm stressed, and a lot of people around me have been noticing that, and they're like, hey, like when you're stressed, like it's kind of like affecting me a little bit. And then that's when I'm like, okay, I need to step back, calm down a little bit, and reevaluate things. Because especially coming from like working in a team environment setting, like at work and whatnot, or just like around my friends and peers. Because a lot of my friends, they look up to me as like a leader or whatnot. For example, like my car crew or whatnot. I'm like the team leader or team founder or whatever.
Okay.
And if they see I'm stressed and I'm constantly dealing with my own stuff, they'll start becoming stressed as well, and then they're gonna start blaming each other, and it's like a domino effect. If one person goes down, everyone goes down.
But it's a good thing. It's a good thing that they like speak on it.
Yeah, and but another thing is, if you're in a position where you feel like you're the one who started the domino effect, it's gonna make you feel you have a burden or an obligation to constantly fulfill the other people's needs first.
I suppose, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get what you're
So
saying.
it's a never-ending spiraling loop,
Mm.
but you also got to remember, yeah, you can be the leader you want to be for another person. You can be the role model. You can be a certain somebody to someone, or you can help your friends, but you shouldn't prioritize their happiness or their satisfaction just in order to for you to feel gratified, because
Yeah.
that's that's the key thing. Like, a lot of people dig themselves a deeper hole because they're putting themselves into more stress by making themselves feel that they're obligated to help someone else
Mm-hmm.
when they could barely help themselves first.
Yeah, 100%.
So, reflecting back to what I did, I was constantly stressed all the time because of the environment I was in. But after hearing that people brought up that, hey, your stress is making me more stressed, or reading the article, yeah, the article had some right aspects, but am I going to utilize it? Am I going to actually put words into action? That's the thing. And I think another thing to tie into like this whole situation, I know a lot of people try to help their friends, try to help their families, try to help everyone they can, and they don't help themselves. But you got to ask yourself the question: is my time and effort worth it?
It's the juice worth the squeeze.
Yeah, because there's a lot of time where you can help all these individuals,
Mm.
but if they're not changing or they're not willing to accept the help,
Mm.
is that opportunity even worth it?
So redundant, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're stressing over them while you're stressing over your own thing, and but they're also stressing over you, but they're also stressing about the thing they were initially stressing,
Mm.
because it's like a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
You give to receive, you receive to give.
That's what I was about to say, is
Mhm.
communication.
Mhm.
It's a big factor.
Mhm. But I don't know. A lot of things nowadays revolve around like having relationship with, whether it's friends, family, significant other, or whatnot. Everyone's always put in a position where they're stressed. But I know a lot of times nowadays people are like, "Hey, I just need some time to myself. I don't want to speak my words because I'm afraid of saying something wrong."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I believe if you do that, right? If you suppress your emotions to calm down before you address the issue, that issue will never truly be like resolved, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you're like, in the moment you're thinking one thing,
Yeah.
and that's already in your mind. If you say it out, if it hurts the person, but if the person takes it wrongly and they don't talk to you and communicate with you back, hey, maybe we should take a step back. I know you're angry, but this is how I'm feeling as well. Because I know a lot of people, like friends, families, brothers, siblings, sisters, etc. You're like, I don't want to talk to you right now because you're getting on my nerve, yada, yada, yada. And I might say something I might regret.
Mm-hmm.
If you're already thinking that thought in the first place, that means that situation really bothered you and it took you to that level of extent where you were like, hey, you know, I'm gonna explode if you don't stop.
Yeah. So sometimes as well, it's like a build up. For example, if you've
Yeah,
got
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of school problems going on, you got a lot of home problems
Mhm.
going on, and then you're out with your friends,
Mhm.
and the smallest thing,
Can tick you off.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then that affects that relationship.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
maybe, you fall out with your friend or something.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of like everything that ties back into like what we mentioned prior. A lot of people are just afraid of losing a relationship nowadays, whether it's a friend, family, colleague, whatever.
Mm.
But I'm pretty sure if you guys are able to communicate well enough, then these situations can be overcome. Because a lot of arguments are like start or like a lot of stress start from a minuscule situation that is turned big because of a miscommunication or disagreement.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just my opinion, okay?
Yeah, of course,
Like,
of course.
we're not trying to say like, hey, follow this. This is like, we're just like we said, this whole podcast was through our own experiences, through how we resolved things in our like situations.
Yeah, I think definitely self-reflection is key, and it's understanding what to reflect on.
Mhm.
Whether it's just to say, trying to say for example we got into an argument and I'm just thinking, oh, he was wrong. I know he was wrong because I'm right. You know.
Yeah, but then in my head, I could have been like,
Same thing.
no, that he was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm right.
Yeah.
This is the way we're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's like everyone has their own chemicals. Everyone has their own mindset. Everyone has their own feelings. Everyone has their own emotion. But it's a matter of, hey, can y'all come to a compromise and meet in the middle where both parties are satisfied?
But yeah, like what you said as well. You can't help anyone until you help yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like if you're not in a stable position, like for example, you have some kind of issues that you're not addressing,
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to get into you're trying to get into like a relationship with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
or you are in a relationship with somebody, and you have all these problems, and they're not being talked about, discussed, or handled. What's gonna have its effects, like
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, and then you break up, leads to depression, and just the cycle continues, and it's like snowball effect, just adding and
Mm-hmm.
adding and
Mm-hmm.
adding. So yeah, self care is super important, but also it's like balancing things, taking
Mm-hmm.
time out for things, finding something that disconnect.
Yeah, because like at the end of the, because I feel like everyone nowadays tend to struggle with not time management, but the idea of they gotta chase time. They're running out of time.
Exactly, and that's the patient side of things, where it comes to balance. Like all older people tell you, slow down,
Yeah.
and I think that like when I look back over the last few years, I feel like whoa, the last few years have gone by so quick. But it's a case of, well, maybe because I've got my head down and I'm just focusing on, hitting all these goals and targets and
Mm-hmm.
doing so many things in this time that when I think back, it's like, yo, I was 25 like yesterday or 21
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. And older people just tell you, slow down, slow down, slow
Mm-hmm.
down. And, we're constantly stretching ourselves whichever way.
Yeah, because stress ages you.
Yeah, that's what Dr. Garmack was saying.
Yeah.
Like, cortisol rise from stress, which is number one killer.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone says to me all the time, I thought you were like between 35 and 40. And I'm like, really? Like, really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 29 still. Like, and everyone says to me, I thought you were
Mm-hmm.
35 plus. Yeah, like, they work for me and they think, oh, you have this company
Mm-hmm.
that we all work for you, so we thought you were older. And it's just like, I don't know, do I look older? Like, I have some gray hairs coming through and whatever. But it's just like, it has so many effects on you. Do you know what I mean? And, we spoke about it before, the burnout,
Yeah.
it's constantly chasing
Burnout
something.
is like burnout is it's just crazy, man.
Yeah. And I see, the thing is I don't get enough time for my self-care.
Because
I'm not going to preach that I'm perfectly, I feel fine all the time, this and that, because I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. Like over the last week, you know what happened.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, that caused a huge setback in my company. The car
'Cause
situation, another thing.
just burning out itself can cause you to change emotionally. It changed your personality like a whole 360.
100%. Because I've just been thinking, like,
Mhm.
man, I want to sell this company.
Mhm.
I've had enough. Like, I just want to buy a store that, when I close the door, the headache finishes. When I
Mhm.
lock the door for the night, headache
Yeah.
finishes. It won't. I know it won't, because I've had a store before. You're thinking all night, oh, I need this tomorrow. I need to buy this for
Mhm.
tomorrow. Like,
But that's going into any profession. Like.
it is, man. It is. And all my brothers, yeah, they talk to me
Mhm.
about, oh, we want to chase business. We want to do this. We want to open this business, that. And I'm telling them, like, if I was you, bro, go get a degree and get a job. Go work for somebody. Because when you clock out that day, you can go live your life.
Mhm.
Like, let me show you right now. Right, look, that's from this morning.
Oh gosh. That's just from today.
Yeah, this morning. Like,
It's like a whole receipt.
while we've been on this pod, there's been 3 missed calls.
Oh my
And
gosh.
how many messages? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, 1 was you, so 4,
Mhm.
5. No wait. Yeah, he texted me twice. You see what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah. Constantly
there you go, it's ringing
notifications.
again. So, no, I'm gonna have to leave that. Let me just text him real quick.
But yeah, it's just We're so worried about chasing time, we don't like control it correctly. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's like I don't ever recall being taught how to manage time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like but it also plays on the other hand. Like I see all these like these YouTubers and these influencers, and they all have these like super productive
Yeah,
routines.
yeah, yeah.
But I think that's overkill as well, because it's like,
Because
no, yeah,
once they have a free opening, they're like, I gotta find something to fill that spot up.
almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had this issue a few weeks back where everything was running so smooth. There was
Mm-hmm.
no, my phone wasn't ringing.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was doing anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was going right, and I was lost.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
There's no chaos right now. It's like it's almost it's too smooth, and I'm kind of lost as usually I'm putting out a fire somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But you see these guys and girls, they you know,
And everything in between.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, oh, yeah. We're at those days.
Yes.
They'll wake up at the crack of dawn, and they'll gym, water, meditate,
Mm-hmm.
read, journal, emails, and then start the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And in the day they've like, you know what I mean? It's a lot still.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a lot. You know what I mean? And I think that everyone says, like productive mindsets and all that. Those things help. With like organization helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're putting yourself in a square, again, it's restrictive. And a term, I don't know why, not recently, but it's been a good few years. A term that I learned that I never understood. Ignorance is bliss.
Mm-hmm.
And for years, I couldn't fathom that term for some reason. And then one day I was just like, oh, that's what it means. Like being like ignorant, not ignorant like in a like a cocky or nasty way, but like just letting the rubbish go over your head.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Just let it go in one ear and come out. You know, it's a real good thing. Like, people think everything has to be like I said, in a square. Like, we're saying self-help, like, you got to make 1 hour a day for this. It's like, no, like, just take it easy.
Yeah, like
Just go with the flow.
throughout the day, take
I think,
5-10 minutes.
yeah, like,
Whenever you have time, just like.
yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, go with the flow. Just,
Mm-hmm.
take it easy. That has helped me a lot because, you know, instead of saying, oh, I've got an hour for this or whatever, it's just when it comes, just go with it,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And it makes for such a relaxed time because you're not ever like stressing yourself to have something done in a certain time or certain way. Like my wife will say, "Oh, you spending money on this thing? Like, stop wasting it." I'm like, I'll get it back. Like, you think I'm not gonna stop hustling?"
Mm-hmm.
And I had this conversation with Miran. He was like, he was looking for a cash car, and I was like, okay, what do you want a cash car for?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't want the monthly headache of like a bill.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, but the cash car, you're gonna have to spend like a good chunk of change to get anything decent. So say for example, he was like, yeah, I got a 10 grand budget. I was like, okay, for 10 grand, you'll get a somewhat decent car.
Nah,
But
yeah,
you know what
more
I
or
mean?
less.
Even 10
Yeah.
grand, like that, you'll get a somewhat
Especially
decent.
in like this economy, but that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But my point to say
Yeah.
is he didn't want the monthly headache of the car finance, which is okay.
Understandable.
It's
Yeah.
okay, but not everyone. We have financial goals, so we're
Mhm.
gonna go give that chunk of change to get a car, as opposed to having that monthly on a nice car. Because he was driving a 2021 Jeep, and he was like, "Man, this is really nice."
Mhm.
And he was like, "Yeah, but I wouldn't finance it because of the monthly payment." But I was like, "Look, if you went and got a car on finance,
Mhm.
I don't know how much a 2021 Jeep cost. Probably
Yeah, rough estimate is like 30, 40, maybe.
40,000. So you're looking about 600, 650
Mhm.
a month payment on that. You will make that payment, even if like whatever happens. Like, you got 10 grand sitting there, fine. Like, you got a cushion,
Mhm.
but you're not gonna not stop hustling to make that
Mhm.
payment. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like it says, go with the flow. Like, you'll get it. Like, you know who you are and what you do. Like,
Mhm.
it is what it is, man. But no, I think putting everything in a box and stressing the fact of oh, I need to relax time. I need time to switch off. Like all of those things, even that's putting a
Mhm.
burden on relaxing time, you know, or switching off time or self care time or whatever. Just ignorance is bliss,
Mhm.
and that's something I've lived by for a while, and it's helped me a lot. Like what age? I'd say after 20, maybe slightly after 21. That's when I wasn't in the best. No, it's
Mhm.
been on and off. Like with my mental health, it has been on and off. But it's only been over the last few years where I've really like grasped the concept of not overdoing anything.
Mhm.
And it's almost like lazy in a sense, but it's like if I don't want to do something that's like not uncomfortable, but like that I just don't want to do, I won't
Mhm.
force it.
Mhm.
Now, obviously, like bills and stuff like that need to be handled. It's like stability is key. You know, that's the one of the main things. Like the struggle to stability, that's the biggest thing you'll overcome.
Mhm.
You know, and then after that, after stability, that's when it's like open playing field. You know, but until that, yes, stress comes with money and life and bills and all of
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. But it's also perception. You know, this morning when I was driving here, my phone just kept going, and I was just like, I said to you, I've thought about selling this company. And then I was like, well, why don't I just change my view from it being a problem to it being a challenge? Because that's only my perception.
Mhm.
Instead of me thinking, oh man, this is bothering me, it's like, okay, let me test myself and see how good I can handle this all, you know?
And that ties back to the whole self care situation and everyone's stressing and all that good stuff from earlier. It's if you feel something as stressful,
Yeah,
it will continuously stay stressful.
exactly.
Yeah.
As opposed to challenging it, you know? Um, yeah, so it's perception plays a huge key. But anyway, like what like in terms of yourself, what do you do to take care of yourself? Like what is it you do?
So nowadays, I've been going to the gym a little bit
Oh yeah,
more.
you've
I
been in
try.
gym.
I try to be more consistent.
Yeah,
I guess just having goals,
yeah,
cause the one thing I've always been doing since high school,
yeah,
or even before that, is setting myself a goal. This is different from a dream.
yeah,
Is a dream is something you want to reach to. You may or may not get it. Like I dream of having a, you know, 20-bedroom house, yada yada yada. But
a goal is a dream with a plan.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
pretty much. But my goal is how am I gonna make the money, or how am I gonna get to that dream? And I usually set myself the goals and set myself a time period to reach the goals.
Mm,
So like for like last semester, I was like, hey, I'm gonna try to reach 3 plate deadlift for by the end of October, and I started sometime in August,
mm,
and I reached it, and it was yeah, there was like obstacles in between. There's like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym every day, yada yada yada,
mm.
and but if you stay true to the goal and you keep like going that path, you'll get to it. Like
How,
there's
lo-
this
how long you been in the gym?
um, it's been on and off, but as of right now, recently it's been for about 4 weeks straight.
Okay.
Yeah, and I try to go like 5 days a week, somewhat like have rest days here and there if I have to study for my exams and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I try to be consistent. And if like I said earlier, surrounding yourself with different a different environment, different people and whatnot. I found a new gym buddy and whatnot. And the past like 3 4 weeks, we just been motivating each other to push
100,
yourself more and more and
100, 100,
more.
100.
And that's the thing. If you surround yourself with the right people
Yeah,
or the right person,
yeah.
it can change your mindset like that.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I think. Again, we mentioned this in the other
Mhm.
pod. Like when you're in something, it was Dr. Nicola, no, Dr. Carmack. It
Mhm.
was. She was saying, being in the eye of the tornado, you can't see anything around it.
Mhm.
All you can see is the tornado.
Mhm.
Whereas if I'm standing outside, I can see everything else around it. You know.
Mhm.
So it's like a coach telling the players, pass it there.
Mhm.
You can't see him, but I can, and that will work if you pass. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it's
Mhm.
like having another perspective. And again, it goes down to communication,
Mhm.
you know? Tell them, hey, I want to achieve this goal.
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, I want to achieve
And
this
then
goal.
the best thing is about that is like if you actually have someone who think at the same level as you, because the buddy I'm talking to, well, not talking to, but like my I would consider my best friend now. We see life, or like our morals are pretty much the same. We're pretty much the same people, just in different bodies.
Uh-huh.
And just having the similar interests, and just having like to the point now where like we're working together and whatnot, and everything's more enjoyable because we can see eye to eye. And if one person is like motivated, the other person is also being motivated with it. So it also ties back to like, hey, if someone is stressed, the someone else around them will be affected by it. But you can flip it around, and if you're being positive about something, more than likely the people around you will be positive too.
Yeah, it does. It does spread, and it's the same thing with
Mm-hmm.
negativity. You know, that's why you really got to, just watch what
But
you.
yeah, nowadays for self-care, I've just been focusing on more of the physical side of things. I've been trying to diet too,
Yeah, yeah,
to help out with the gym goals a little bit more.
yeah. Like when I used to go to the gym, I had a really good run.
Mm-hmm.
2019. Diet was awesome. Gym routine was awesome. Everything was good, and
Mm-hmm.
you probably notice after about 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
of building that habit, starting, um, you notice a lot of spring in your step.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like that getting out and breaking a sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Daily.
And
It helps a lot.
not bashing down to like the whole idea of having a schedule earlier, but if you set a routine for yourself,
Yeah.
it becomes a habit.
Nah, that's where I was gonna touch on next.
Mm-hmm.
Building a habit. So for example, yeah, every time in recent years where I've been like diet and gym,
Mm-hmm.
I've gone from 0 to 100,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like because it's not the norm for you. That 100 is a big weight,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you'll keep it up, you'll be motivated for a few weeks, and then it will untangle,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll all come tumbling down
Mm-hmm.
because it's a whole thing itself. So the diet, the gym, the routine, everything. Um, so the book, like the Atomic Habit, it's like small changes.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of drinking any kind of liquid calories, only consume water to start.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of going to the gym, like if you can, each to their own. Instead
Mm-hmm.
of going to the gym every day and be like, yeah, I'm gonna lose 10 pounds this month
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, just be like, no, start with like one.
Mm-hmm.
Just start, just get the
Yeah,
steps
yeah.
right.
Like get the ball rolling a little bit before you jump yourself
Like
into it
they say
fully.
to build a habit, like a gym, for example, just show up to start.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you go there and do half a workout, then leave. Or build a habit of showing up.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually
That that
it'll tie
was
into your roots,
that was pretty much like how I start a lot of
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
Like I dip my toe in first.
yeah. I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
Like, you probably can tell, like, with a podcast, like, I'm just like, all right, let's
Impulse,
change
like
it. Just
I gotta do it
dive in
instantly. Yeah,
headfirst into
yeah.
it.
But for
And
me, it's like,
my wife complains about it
hmm
a lot. Oh, you just get excited and just jump headfirst, and I'm like,
but that's
sometimes it works.
also a good thing, because
Yeah.
if you don't have the excitement, you're always cautious about
Yeah,
things.
yeah, and I think that's a big problem
Mm-hmm.
because when I started this company, I realized the only way that it worked was because I stuck my head in the deep end and I had to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas opposed to if it was a side hustle,
And,
I'm
that's a
I'm good with
common,
money.
yeah, that's
You
a
know what I mean?
common thing with a lot of the guests we've been speaking to on the pod is they 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 dove into it, and they had to make it work
Hmm.
instead of having like a more safe approach. Because I don't know, it's coming from two different sides.
Yeah.
You're more of, hey, I want to have high risk, high
Yeah.
payout.
Yeah.
I'm more of, hey, let's take things a little
Yeah.
safe, and like, before we jump
Gradual.
into
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
And but it's just it gives more like more experiences for each other to share with each other, and it helps us like see like, hey, maybe the method I'm currently going with might be able to be changed with another method approached by a like XYZ person. So I think it's like, yeah, there's like benefits to both sides, taking a safe approach to
For
ease
sure.
in,
For sure.
and then there's the shotgun in. That's like,
For sure.
it's like, you know, beneficial for both parties or
Yeah. So
whoever it is.
yeah,
It's
like
affecting.
with the podcast, I was like, you know, we were discussing for a while, like we need to go ham at it.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's
yeah.
like we physically can't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's like, what can we do? So I was like, okay, upgrade the set, upgrade the equipment. Like, let's make a better product.
Don't focus on what we can't do, but focus on what we can do.
Exactly. You know, just create the best product, because you know how many podcasts are out there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Countless
Yeah, I mean,
amount
you
of
can't count
podcasts.
them. So it's like, okay, we got to step the game up to rise above the competition, you know, so to speak. Um, and like going hard at it, with that kind of stuff. But
Mhm.
building gradually as well is also good. Um, but like having a consistency with the going ham. This is the main thing, is consistency.
Mhm.
So it's like, for example, if every month we get one subscriber, in 10 years we'll have like 100. You know,
Mhm.
but it's like, as long as you keep it going, and it
Mhm.
will eventually grow. You know, either way. Um,
Yeah, that applies to school, life, work, anything.
it's like if you get 1% better a day,
Mhm.
you're getting so much a
Mhm.
year. You know.
Mhm.
So yeah, but on that note, make sure to subscribe, because we are doing this. We're really trying to do this. So
Yeah. Well,
show some
we hope you
support.
guys like the new setup. All thanks to Sharif, of course.
Man,
He really
Jeff,
put
we're all putting in work for this, man.
he did a really nice job decorating the place.
Sorry. Yeah, it's alright. Yeah. So Spotify is live.
Mhm.
Apple is still giving us a tough time. We're gonna have to go talk to them
Yeah.
about that.
But
Anything
yeah.
else?
Just let us know what you guys think about the new setup, new angles, new. We're just experimenting right now. There might be slight changes on the podcast episodes from future, for future episodes. Especially with the main segments with guest speakers. It's gonna be more on a one-on-one basis from now on, instead of both of us being a host and co-host of the show. But other than that, like Sharif said, like, comment, share, subscribe, and this has been a in my opinion segment.
Your place next door, the #1 mental health podcast in the world. Check the stats, bro. I'm telling you, it's true. Like, I ain't gonna lie about that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it
But
was
yeah.
nice talking to you today.
Yeah,
But yeah,
always,
like
man. Always.
always, peace.
Peace.